Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Yeah, I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury sunglasses. Look at these guys. Let me hold them up. Is that not the cutest thing ever? Let me tell you the backstory to getting these cute little sunglasses. I think I actually might wear them in my car. I think they're actually kind of fun. Let me tell you a little bit about them. What I have here for you today are the 3 new Hollywood filter eye looks, Hollywood Flawless filter eye looks from Charlotte Tilbury. Yes, all 3. So the first 2, Star Aura and Diva Lights, were released online, and the third, Eyes of a Star, is coming online on December 29th. On the day I'm going to release this will be the 26th, so in a few days, depending upon when you're watching this video. So I want to talk about all 3, how I got all 3. Shout out to Winnie at Hollywood, the Hollywood Beauty Wonderland, Charlotte Tilbury store in the Grove in Los Angeles, here where I live. So shout out to Winnie for getting me that and for the fun sunglasses. Thank you. That's so cute. I want to talk about all 3 palettes. I will do a spoiler alert and tell you that I am wearing the newest of the 3, Eyes of a Star, right now. We're going to look at swatches, and we're going to look at the palettes, and we're going to try them both on. So we got a lot to do. Let's go ahead and just get started. Let's not drag it out more than it has to be. The first thing I want to do is look at them, and then we'll talk about it. And I do know there is a little bit of a controversy with these, so let's talk about it all. Let's start with Star Aura, which is a great everyday palette. I just want you to look at it here and see. I have messed it up with my swatches, sorry guys, but it does say Hollywood embossed there, kind of on a little overlay. And as you can see, just from my swatching and playing with it, it's actually almost gone. Then we have Diva Lights. These are the first 2 that were released, I believe, on the 21st. Because I was getting all 3, I just kind of waited. I don't know if it was the right decision or not, but I waited. I'm a little late on 2 and quite a few days early on the 3rd. Thank you to Winnie. Okay, and now I want you to see, for some of you the first time, to see the Eyes of a Star palette. And again, it does also have Hollywood embossed, but it comes off. It is kind of an overlay, and it does come off with my messy swatching. Look at that. Let me clean that up a little bit there. There's no cleaning it up after I've been in it like a wild animal. That's it upside down. And here it is right side up, hiding the mirror. This is the newest one, Eyes of a Star. Okay. Now let's talk about some differences and some issues, some of which you've heard before, but I would be remiss not to talk about them here as well. First of all, we have no pop shade. We have now she always has her, Charlotte always has her Prime and Enhance, and she has a smoke shade, but now she is calling the last shade the Define shade. So where we would normally have a pop, we now have a Define, and in Diva Lights, that Define shade is this kind of grayish charcoal black shade. In the newest of the new Eyes of a Star, it is this kind of coffee brown shade. So generally the darkest of the 4 in the Aura as well, in the Star Aura as well. So that is to use as a liner or to use just to smoke out the edges in absence of a pop shade. And perhaps Charlotte will do a palette of pops that goes with these 3 quads, maybe. All right, now the real controversy, and you guys are saying it along at home too. We have, each of these is 2.8 grams of product for the same price as her previous palettes, which were around 5 grams. So you're getting roughly a teeny bit more than about half product, a little bit more than half the product for the same price, without that being disclosed. Now, I don't know how a brand discloses that, so to speak. Woo, get half the product. You know, I'm not saying that they should have run out and said it, but they weren't very transparent about it initially, and it has upset a lot of people. We're going to play with it. We're going to see how these look. We're going to do some comparisons. I just had to let you know this is about half the product for about the same price. But the shadows do perform well. So I think as long as we know what we're doing and we know what we're getting, we can maybe feel a little bit better about that. And thankfully, places like YouTube here, we can reveal all that rather than just relying on the brands. So that's kind of a nice thing. Let's look at some swatches. The first thing I want to do is go to an arm swatch of just these 3 new palettes so you can see them all together. On the left of my arm, I have Star Aura. In the middle there, the very pretty Diva lights. And then on the right, the newest of the three, the Eyes of a Star. And there they all are. Take a good look at them on my arm. What I wanted to do next, because I've already had a lot of questions, you guys are so sweet. I am going to show you an arm here with swatches of the most relevant, I should say, comparisons. Some of these comparisons you might feel I left some out. And if you think I did, please feel free to either comment below or hit me up over on Instagram, and I will put that up on Instagram so that you can better make a purchasing decision, especially since we know we're not getting as much product for the price, okay? Now, first, please forgive me. I use eyeliner to write on my arm, and it's kind of like that, and some of it's really messy. So please forgive me, but I do encourage you to pause so you can really see some differences here. Let's go to those arm swatches and let me show you what we're dealing with here. Pardon my messy writing, but we have on the bottom row there, we have Star Aura, and then next to it, Diva Lights. To the right of that, Eyes of a Star, just like the last one. To the right of that on the bottom, I stuck in some relevant comparisons from the Copper Charge Charlotte Tilbury palette. Above it, all the way left, it says Desert there, messy, but that's some relevant shades from Desert Haze. Next to some relevant shades from Dreamgasm. Some relative shades from Super Nude. You can kind of read my chicken scrawl there. Relevant shades from Dolce Vita, which is now called Bella Sofia. And all the way right at the top is some relevant shades from Queen of Glow. Take a look, freeze it if you need to. Check out my chicken scrawl. It's not my fault. I can't write upside down. It is my fault. I should have been neater, but I was excited. But just take a look, freeze the screen if you want. Now, if you have any shades that I didn't get in there, if you would like to see, for instance, the entire Bella Sofia palette, swatch next to an entire one of the new three or entire Desert Haze, happy to do it for you guys. Really thrilled to do it for you. Again, leave me a note below or hit me up over on Instagram. And I use my Instagram for the swatch comparisons a lot. I'll give you a shout out and I will very happily do that because I know that we're trying to make purchase decisions and there's a lot of disgruntled folks regarding the pricing and the product amount. So just let me know. I'm going to come back in just a moment with nothing at all on my eyes. We're going to try on Star Aura, Diva Lights, and then we'll do this look right here. So we got a lot to do still. Please stay with me. Okay, so we're going to do a really quick look with Star Aura on this eye, Diva Lights on this eye, just so we can kind of see basically how it looks on the eye and how it performs. Then we'll do a full look with the brand new Eyes of a Star. Well, they're all brand new, but you know what I mean. And that will be our kind of full look because that's the newest of the three that's about to come out, depending upon when you're watching this video. So let's start with Star Aura. And we saw these palettes and we saw the swatches already. And I'm going to go in the order. We have Prime, Enhance, Smoke, and Define, not Pop. And just for the sake of the video, I am going to go in order just so we can kind of see how it performs. So I am putting the Prime shade on just all over the eye with a fluffy brush. And then I'm going to go into the crease with the Enhance shade with a fluffy brush. Again, I just want to very quickly, I'm quick anyway, as you guys know, but I just want to very quickly just kind of try these out. It's very pretty. Here's our Smoke shade. So we're going to put that kind of there in the corner, and then I'm not using them exactly as I should, but it's kind of fun. And then we're going to use this Define. I'm going to put the Define shade under the eye and a little bit in the corner too. It's strange not to have a pop shade. I feel like, please let me know if this is just nuts. I feel like I can tell there's less product like in my hand. Now there's no way that I can actually feel 2.8 grams versus 5 grams. I know, but I feel like, and I'm sure that's in my head, but I just kind of feel like I can feel that it's less weight. I mean, it is less weight, but you know, I doubt I can feel it. But look, a very, very pretty eye look. We have to use our imagination, of course, about mascara and eyeliner. I'm going to do that with our last look, which is the newest of the three. But let's go ahead and put Diva Lights, which again you've seen, onto my other eye, just so we can kind of get an idea. How do these shadows perform? So far, very Charlotte, very easy to use. I mean, you know, this isn't going to disappoint you. Oh, sorry, going in with the enhanced there. Just chatting away, you know me. So this isn't going to disappoint you in terms of quality. I'm finding these very blendable, very pretty. And I like the look a lot. I'm just going to go in here. Okay, I said I was going to follow this. I'm not following it as much as I said. I'm kind of smoking out the side here. And then I'll go in to the bottom. I like this look a little bit more. It's a little bit more dramatic. So interesting enough, Star Aura seems to be a very everyday. Look at how pretty that is for everyday. Again, imagining mascara and liner. And Diva Lights looks like you can go more to town. I'm going to go ahead and line a little bit with this black. I'm even going to do a smoky line here. To my liking, I think this is actually almost an everyday smoky eye that could go evening, and this is an everyday eye that could go every day. So what I mean is I think this is much more workable for every day, but this is a very gentle palette. The Star Aura on this eye is a very gentle, friendly palette. I don't think you could make a mistake. The Diva Lights is a little bit more assertive. It's not aggressive, it's assertive. And to me, a little bit more striking. So if I were deciding personally between the two, I would probably, I don't know what you guys think, and I'd love to hear, I would probably do the Diva Lights because it feels like you could kind of go gentle with it for an everyday look. I kind of struck a balance here in between, but this could also go evening. I don't see Star Aura, and again, correct me if you disagree, I don't see Star Aura doing anything but everyday. Having said that, I do find that my everyday makeup is what I use the most. Not just in a pandemic, but of course in a pandemic, we don't find ourselves going out all that much. And even before this dreadful pandemic hit us, I'm not really sure that all of us were hitting the town every night. Most of us have jobs and responsibilities and, you know, we're tired. So if you're like me, right? So we don't go out all the time. I end up even when we're not on some sort of a lockdown, I end up using those every day a lot. I'm really curious to see what balance it strikes with the third one when we look at Eyes of a Star. And of course, you could always cover it all up with the Charlotte sunglasses. So let's come back. I'm going to take all this off, and then we're going to just do Eyes of a Star on both eyes and kind of let the rest of the video be that one, since that's the newest that hasn't, at time of filming, been released yet. So stick right with me. Okay, nothing up my sleeve, nothing on my eyes. I want to devote the greater eye look here to the brand new of the new Eyes of a Star palette. So I've got some clean brushes here, and I've got the palette, and I am going to basically just follow Charlotte's order, starting with the prime shade to cover both eyes. Now, you do not have to follow this order. In fact, I encourage you not to. However, when you want a no-brainer eye look, and I'm just putting this prime all over the lids. When you want a no-brainer, easy eye look, Charlotte does all the work and all the thinking for you, and sometimes that's really nice. I like to break the rules, there are no rules of course, and go outside of the palette, outside of the rules of the palette, but I like kind of to follow the rules first. Okay, so I'm going to go into the enhanced shade, and just with windshield wiper motion, same brush, this is the number 1 from Refer that I always tend to grab in my demos. And I'm just doing windshield wiper motions back and forth. We're just doing a really simple, just kind of like, I mean, you know, I'll go up a little more, but we're just doing a really kind of simple look. I just want to play with this and see how it turns out. I want to take another one, another Refer brush, and I've got my Sonia G brushes out here too, and just go into that enhance and just run it under the eye. And again, we're just using Charlotte's pattern that she's laid out just as a little template, just to quickly see what this looks like. Okay, so now we have our smoke and then our define. So I am going to take my Sonia G brush here and go right into this smoke shade, and I'm going to put it on the outer corner of the eye. Now, let me tell you something. I have had so many conversations with you lovely people, and a lot of you have surprised me by being kind of just like me and liking these shades that don't go on so dark that you have to, and get to, I should say get to, build. Look at that. That's one application, and it's not skipping or, you know, anything like that, but it's not crazy bold, and I barely tapped it off. This means that it's mistake proof and easy. And this, you know, I was wondering, why did she release these three? Why didn't she release all three at once? There's a reason. There's a marketing reason that I was kind of trying to put my finger on. And I think this is probably the best of the bunch. And maybe that's why. Maybe she knew. I'm running this smoke shade under my eye. Maybe she knew that word would get out that this was one of the nicest. Well, to me, it's this one or Diva Lights, but I'm kind of preferring this, and that everybody then would get it, even if they'd gotten the other two. Do you think maybe that was it? All right, let's take this Define shade, which is this really dark, deep brown, and I'm going just under the side, the edges, of the eye. And maybe, let's take that rougher brush and just kind of go right here. This is a clean number one. I'm full of number ones, but I didn't want you to think it was one that had been in the other palettes. And that is really pretty, and I could really smoke that up for evening if I needed to or wanted to. With this, I'm going to go ahead and put on some liner and some mascara, and then we can talk about all three of these palettes. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I'm back, and I have just added in some Pillow Talk liner and some Pillow Talk Push-Up mascara. This is a very pretty palette. I would like to dip my finger just into this first prime shade and just maybe add something to the center of the eye just to give it a little more light. I think that's just a little bit prettier. I'll zoom in for you so you could see, just to kind of go back in and add that in the absence of a pop shade. But I think it is really, really pretty. I'm really dying to know what you guys think. If you bought the other two or passed up the other two, are you interested then in the third palette? What do you think? Especially that we know that there's less product in here. Does that anger you? Is it something you can get past because the product itself is really, really pretty? I'm going to get a lot of looks out of this, and I never use all of my eyeshadow anyway. That sounds like I'm making excuses for a company to rip us off, and I'm certainly not. Maybe just trying to see the positives. I don't really know. I would really love to have a discussion with you guys about it. So let me know what you think about the first two. That would be Star Aura and Diva Lights. And if you're thinking of purchasing Eyes of a Star, or if now that it's been revealed that there's less product, are you upset with the brand? Please let me know. Let's have a discussion below. As always, I very, very much appreciate if you could subscribe and help my channel grow, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.